Your kidneys filter about 200 quarts of blood every single day, removing waste, balancing minerals, and regulating blood pressure. After age 50, kidney function naturally declines by roughly 1% each year. But certain everyday foods can accelerate that decline without you ever noticing until serious damage is done. The challenge is that many of these foods are advertised as healthy, sit in your pantry right now, or have been part of your daily routine for decades. By the time symptoms like swelling, fatigue, or changes in urination appear, you may have already lost significant kidney function. The good news is that with a few strategic changes to what you eat, you can protect these vital organs and even help them work more efficiently, no matter your age. A 2020 study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases tracked more than 3,000 adults over age 55 for nearly a decade, and found that participants who made moderate dietary changes reduced their risk of chronic kidney disease progression by 30% compared to those who continued their usual eating patterns. What surprised researchers most was that the protective foods weren't exotic or expensive. They were simple, accessible choices that anyone could start incorporating today. Before we look at what to eat instead, let's identify the 7 common foods that may be quietly damaging your kidneys, especially after 50 when your margin for error gets smaller. The first food to watch carefully is processed deli meat. Turkey breast, ham, salami, and roast beef from the deli counter seem convenient and protein-rich, but they contain exceptionally high levels of sodium and preservatives called nitrates. A typical serving of deli meat, just 2 or 3 slices, can contain 500 to 800 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly half the daily limit recommended for people with even mildly reduced kidney function. When your kidneys are working to filter excess sodium, they experience increased pressure and workload. Over time, this chronic stress damages the tiny filtering units called nephrons. A 2019 study in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that adults over 50 who consumed processed meats more than twice weekly had significantly higher rates of declining kidney function over 5 years compared to those who ate them rarely. The nitrates in these meats also convert to compounds that may cause oxidative stress in kidney tissue. Instead of deli meat, choose fresh roasted chicken or turkey that you cook yourself, canned low-sodium tuna or salmon, or plant-based proteins like hummus or mashed white beans on your sandwiches. These alternatives give you protein without the excessive sodium and chemical preservatives. The second everyday food hurting your kidneys is white bread and refined flour products like bagels, crackers, and pastries. When you eat refined carbohydrates, your blood sugar spikes quickly. Your pancreas releases insulin to bring that sugar down. But if this happens repeatedly throughout the day, year after year, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin. This condition, called insulin resistance, doesn't just lead to diabetes. It also directly damages the small blood vessels in your kidneys. Research published in Kidney International in 2021 showed that people over 50 with higher refined carbohydrate intake had measurably faster decline in glomerular filtration rate, which is the primary marker of how well your kidneys are filtering blood. The inflammatory compounds released during repeated blood sugar spikes also contribute to kidney tissue damage. Replace white bread with 100% whole grain bread, where the first ingredient listed is whole wheat or whole grain. Choose steel-cut oats for breakfast instead of sweetened instant oatmeal. Swap crackers for raw vegetables with a small handful of nuts. These changes stabilize blood sugar and reduce the inflammatory burden on your kidneys. The third culprit is flavored yogurt. This one surprises many people because yogurt is often marketed as a health food. While plain yogurt provides beneficial probiotics and protein, the flavored varieties sold in individual cups typically contain 15 to 25 grams of added sugar per serving. That's 4 to 6 teaspoons of sugar in one small container. High sugar intake contributes to insulin resistance, obesity, and inflammation, all of which stress kidney function. Additionally, many flavored yogurts contain phosphate additives to improve texture and shelf life. Phosphate is a mineral your kidneys must carefully regulate. When phosphate levels rise too high in the blood, your kidneys work harder to excrete the excess, and over time, elevated phosphate damages blood vessels throughout the body, including those in the kidneys themselves. A 2018 systematic review in Advances in Nutrition found clear associations between high dietary phosphate from additives and accelerated kidney function decline in middle-aged and older adults. Choose plain, unsweetened yogurt and add your own fresh berries, a small drizzle of honey, or a sprinkle of cinnamon. This simple switch cuts sugar by 80% and eliminates hidden phosphate additives. The fourth food is canned soup and broth. These pantry staples are incredibly convenient, especially on cold days or when you're not feeling well. 1 cup of typical canned soup contains 600 to 900 milligrams of sodium, and many people eat the entire can, which is 2 or more servings. Even the so-called reduced sodium versions often contain 400 to 500 milligrams per serving. Your kidneys regulate sodium balance by filtering excess into urine, but when you consistently consume high amounts, your blood pressure rises and your kidneys must work harder. Chronic high blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney failure in the United States, right after diabetes. The National Kidney Foundation recommends keeping sodium intake below 2,000 milligrams per day for people with any kidney concerns, and below 1,500 milligrams for those with existing kidney disease. A single can of soup could use up your entire day's allowance. Make your own soup in large batches using low-sodium broth or just water, fresh vegetables, beans, and herbs for flavor. Freeze portions in individual containers for the same convenience as canned soup. You can also look for brands specifically labeled "no salt added" and add just a pinch of salt yourself if needed, which gives you control over sodium content. The fifth food quietly hurting your kidneys is diet soda and artificially sweetened drinks. Many people switched from regular soda to diet versions, thinking they were making a healthier choice. And while cutting sugar is important, artificial sweeteners come with their own problems. Research published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology in 2017 followed over 3,000 women for more than a decade and found that those who drank 2 or more diet sodas daily had significantly greater kidney function decline compared to those who drank less than 1 per week. The exact mechanism is still being studied, but researchers believe the high phosphoric acid content in colas, both regular and diet, may contribute to kidney damage. Phosphoric acid lowers urine pH and increases calcium excretion, which can lead to kidney stones and may damage kidney tissue over time. Artificial sweeteners may also alter gut bacteria in ways that increase inflammation throughout the body, including the kidneys. Instead of diet soda, drink water with slices of lemon, lime, or cucumber, or unsweetened herbal tea, either hot or iced. If you need some flavor, try sparkling water with a splash of 100% fruit juice, just an ounce or 2 for taste. The sixth everyday food is cheese, particularly processed cheese products like American cheese slices, cheese spreads, and nacho cheese sauce. Cheese naturally contains sodium and phosphorus, but processed cheese has much higher levels of both because manufacturers add sodium-based preservatives and phosphate salts to improve melting and texture. Just 1 slice of processed American cheese contains about 300 milligrams of sodium and significant added phosphate. A 2020 study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition examined dietary patterns in adults over 60 and found that higher intake of processed cheese correlated with elevated serum phosphate levels and faster decline in estimated glomerular filtration rate over 3 years. The combination of excess sodium and phosphate creates a double burden for aging kidneys. If you enjoy cheese, choose small portions of natural aged cheese like cheddar, Swiss, or Parmesan, which have more flavor per bite so you can use less. Limit portions to about 1 ounce, which is roughly the size of 4 dice. Use cheese as a garnish or accent rather than the main component of a meal. You can also experiment with nutritional yeast, which has a cheesy flavor but is naturally low in sodium, and phosphorus. The seventh and perhaps most surprising food is instant or packaged flavored rice and pasta mixes. These convenient side dishes that you just add water to and heat up are loaded with sodium, often 800 to 1,200 milligrams per serving, along with artificial flavors, preservatives, and sometimes phosphate additives. A 2019 analysis published in Nutrients examined the sodium content of popular convenience foods and found that these rice and pasta mixes were among the worst offenders for hidden sodium that consumers often don't account for in their daily totals. When you eat one of these as a side dish alongside a main course that also contains sodium, you can easily exceed healthy limits in a single meal. Cook plain rice or pasta yourself, which takes only slightly longer, and add your own seasonings like garlic, herbs, a small amount of olive oil, and a squeeze of lemon. This gives you full control over sodium while still providing satisfying flavor and convenience. Now that you know which foods to limit or avoid, let's talk about what you should eat instead to actively support kidney health after 50. The most important principle is to focus on whole, minimally processed foods that are naturally low in sodium and don't contain added phosphates. Research consistently shows that dietary patterns rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins are associated with better kidney function and slower decline with age. A 2021 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 14,000 adults for more than 20 years and found that those whose diets most closely resembled a Mediterranean or DASH-style pattern, both of which emphasize whole plant foods and limit processed items, had a 30 to 40% lower risk of developing chronic kidney disease compared to those eating a typical Western diet high in processed foods. Start by building your meals around non-starchy vegetables. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and lettuce, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and colorful options like bell peppers, zucchini, and green beans are all excellent choices. These foods are naturally low in sodium, provide fiber to help stabilize blood sugar, and contain antioxidants that protect kidney tissue from oxidative damage. For most people with normal or mildly reduced kidney function, vegetables are completely safe. However, if you've been diagnosed with advanced kidney disease, you may need to limit certain high-potassium vegetables like potatoes, tomatoes, and winter squash, so check with your doctor or a renal dietitian for personalized guidance. Include moderate portions of fresh, lean protein with each meal. Fish like salmon, cod, and tilapia are excellent choices because they provide high-quality protein without excessive sodium or phosphate additives. Skinless chicken breast and turkey, fresh pork tenderloin, and eggs are also good options. If you eat red meat, choose fresh cuts and limit portions to about 3 to 4 ounces, which is roughly the size of a deck of cards. Plant-based proteins like lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are particularly kidney-friendly because they come packaged with fiber and don't contain any added sodium if you buy dried beans and cook them yourself, or if you choose no salt-added canned versions and rinse them thoroughly. A 2022 meta-analysis in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that replacing some animal protein with plant protein was associated with slower kidney function decline in adults over 50, likely because plant proteins create less metabolic waste for the kidneys to filter. Choose healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. These fats help reduce inflammation throughout the body, including in the kidneys. A tablespoon of olive oil on your salad or vegetables, a quarter of an avocado with your meal, or a small handful of unsalted almonds or walnuts as a snack provides satisfying calories and beneficial compounds without stressing your kidneys. Research from the Framingham Heart Study found that people who consumed more monounsaturated fats from sources like olive oil and nuts had better kidney function markers as they aged compared to those who ate more saturated and trans fats from processed foods. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Adequate hydration helps your kidneys flush out waste products and toxins efficiently. For most adults over 50, Smedgentaldos and Bosma 50 without fluid restrictions aim for about 6 to 8 glasses of water daily, more if you're active or in hot weather. If your urine is pale yellow, you're likely well hydrated. If it's dark amber, you probably need more water. However, if you have heart failure or advanced kidney disease and your doctor has put you on a fluid restriction, follow those specific guidelines instead. Proper hydration is one of the simplest and most effective ways to support kidney health, yet many older adults don't drink enough because thirst sensation decreases with age. One of the biggest myths about kidney health is that you need to avoid all protein if you want to protect your kidneys. This misunderstanding comes from outdated advice and causes many older adults to eat too little protein, which accelerates muscle loss and frailty. The truth is that moderate protein intake, about 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram of body weight per day, is safe and important for people with normal or mildly reduced kidney function. That's roughly 55 to 70 grams of protein per day for a 150-pound person. Research published in 2020 in the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association found that older adults who maintained adequate protein intake had better physical function, fewer falls, and maintained independence longer than those who restricted protein unnecessarily. Only people with advanced kidney disease, typically stage 4 or 5, need to carefully limit protein, and even then, it should be done under medical supervision. If you're unsure about your kidney function status, ask your doctor to check your estimated glomerular filtration rate, a simple blood test that shows how well your kidneys are filtering. Another common mistake is thinking that taking calcium supplements will protect your bones and kidneys at the same time. In reality, high-dose calcium supplements, especially when taken without adequate vitamin D or magnesium, can sometimes contribute to kidney stone formation and may even be associated with calcium deposits in blood vessels. A 2019 review in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that calcium supplements did not reduce fracture risk in older adults as much as previously thought, and high doses were associated with increased risk of kidney stones. Instead of relying on supplements, get calcium from food sources like plain yogurt, leafy greens, sardines with bones, and fortified plant milks, which provide calcium along with other beneficial nutrients that work together for bone and kidney health. If you do need calcium supplements, take them in smaller divided doses throughout the day rather than one large dose, and always take them with food. Some people believe that if they feel fine, their kidneys must be fine, so they don't need to make any changes. This is perhaps the most dangerous myth because kidney disease is often called a silent condition. You can lose 50% or more of your kidney function before you experience any noticeable symptoms. By the time swelling, fatigue, or changes in urination appear, significant damage has often already occurred. That's why prevention through diet and lifestyle is so critical, especially after 50 when kidney function naturally starts to decline. The encouraging news from a 2021 study in The Lancet is that even people with mild to moderate kidney disease who made dietary changes similar to the ones we've discussed saw stabilization or slowing of their decline, proving it's never too late to take protective action. Another myth is that you need expensive superfoods or special kidney detox products to protect your kidneys. The supplement industry markets countless products claiming to cleanse or detox your kidneys, but your kidneys are self-cleaning organs. They don't need detoxing. What they need is to not be overburdened with excess sodium, sugar, and processed chemicals, and to receive adequate water and nutrients from a balanced diet. Some herbal supplements marketed for kidney health can actually be harmful, especially if you already have reduced kidney function or take certain medications. A 2020 report from the National Kidney Foundation warned that several popular herbal supplements, including some marketed specifically for kidneys, contained compounds that could worsen kidney function or interact dangerously with blood pressure and diabetes medications. Save your money and invest it in fresh vegetables and quality proteins instead. Many people also believe that once you're over 60 or 70, diet changes won't make much difference because the damage is already done. This is absolutely false. Research consistently shows that older adults who improve their diets see measurable benefits in kidney function markers, blood pressure, blood sugar control, and overall health, often within just a few months. A 2022 study in the Journal of Gerontology followed adults in their 70s who adopted a Mediterranean-style diet and found that after 6 months, they had improved kidney filtration markers, reduced inflammation, and better blood pressure control compared to a control group who continued their usual diet. Your kidneys have remarkable capacity to stabilize and maintain function when you remove the sources of stress and provide proper nutrition. Every healthy meal is an opportunity to support your kidneys, regardless of your age. As you start making these changes, remember that perfection isn't the goal. Consistency over time is what matters. If you've been eating processed deli meat sandwiches for lunch every day for years, start by switching to homemade chicken or tuna just 3 days a week. If you currently drink 3 diet sodas daily, cut back to 1 and replace the others with water or herbal tea. Small, sustainable changes accumulate into significant improvements over months and years. Think of it as turning a large ship. You can't spin it around instantly, but gradual, steady adjustments to your course will get you to a completely different destination. Research on behavior change in older adults shows that gradual modifications are far more likely to become permanent habits than dramatic overnight overhauls that feel overwhelming and unsustainable. It's also important to talk with your doctor about your kidney health, especially if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or a family history of kidney problems. Ask to have your kidney function tested with a simple blood test for creatinine and estimated glomerular filtration rate, along with a urine test for protein. These tests are quick, inexpensive, and give you a clear baseline so you can monitor whether your dietary changes are helping. If you discover that you already have reduced kidney function, your doctor may refer you to a nephrologist or renal dietitian who can give you personalized guidance. Some people with more advanced kidney disease do need to limit certain nutrients like potassium and phosphorus more strictly, so professional guidance is essential. If you're caring for an aging parent or spouse, these dietary changes can benefit the entire household. Cooking lower sodium meals, buying more fresh foods and fewer processed items, and emphasizing vegetables and whole grains helps everyone's health, not just kidney function. It can also make meal planning simpler because you're cooking one healthy meal for everyone rather than trying to prepare separate dishes. Many people find that when they reduce sodium and added sugars, their taste buds adjust within a few weeks and they actually start to prefer the cleaner, more natural flavors of whole foods. Your kidneys do so much for you every single day, quietly filtering toxins, balancing your body's chemistry, and supporting healthy blood pressure. After 50, when their capacity gradually decreases, they deserve your attention and care. By removing or limiting the 7 foods we discussed today and replacing them with whole, minimally processed alternatives, you give your kidneys the best chance to continue functioning well for decades to come. The changes don't have to be complicated or expensive. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store where fresh foods are located. Read labels to check sodium content. Cook more meals at home where you control the ingredients and drink plenty of water. These simple strategies, backed by solid research, can make a profound difference in your kidney health and your overall quality of life as you age. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How old are you, and which of these 7 foods have been regular parts of your diet? Are you willing to try swapping 1 or 2 of them this week? Share your biggest challenge when it comes to eating healthier, whether it's time, cost, taste preferences, or confusion about what's actually healthy. Your experience might help someone else who's facing the same obstacle. If you found this information valuable, please share this video with a friend or family member over 50 who might benefit from it. Small changes in what we eat can lead to big improvements in how we feel and how long we stay healthy and independent. Subscribe to the channel for more videos every day on practical, research-based health advice for people over 50. Thank you for taking the time to learn how to protect your kidneys. Your future self will thank you for the choices you make today.